Hello viewers, how are you? Welcome to my channel Physics with Rams. So today we are going to discuss about fluid dynamics. So before going to start this topic, those who are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel so that you receive notifications regarding my channel, as well as you can watch my previous videos to clear your concepts and you can solve as many numericals as you can. So let's start this topic, fluid dynamics. In the case of fluid dynamics, we consider an ideal fluid. Ideal fluid means it should be incompressible. Means density of the fluid should remain constant. It should be incompressible and it should be non-viscous. The frictional forces acting between the layers of the fluid should be equal to 0. No frictional force should act between the layers of the fluid. As well as here we consider irrotational. Means the angular velocity of the fluid is equal to 0. It should not rotate, it should flow in a straight direction. Then only we can represent this ideal fluid. Based on this concept, now we are going to discuss about the equation of continuity. Equation of continuity. Equation of continuity is being explained based on the steady flow. What is meant by steady flow? Means a fluid which flows in the forward direction without rotating. So here I am going to consider flow of fluid, steady flow. So here as we consider 2 points, one is P and the one is Q. When the molecule in the fluid crosses the point P, it moves with velocity v1. When the same molecule crosses the point Q, it moves with velocity v2. After this molecule has crossed point P, the next molecule which is entering the point P possesses the same velocity, and the same molecule, if it reaches point Q, it possesses the same velocity v2. Means at any particular point, one by one molecule will attain the same velocity at that point. That represents a steady flow. So based on this steady flow, we are going to represent equation of continuity, where equation of continuity is being represented by using the expression A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2. So since initial is equals to final, we can represent AV is equals to constant, and we can represent area is inversely proportional to velocity of the fluid. So while we are pouring the water to the plants, in order to increase the velocity, we just decrease the area of the pipe. As the area of the pipe decreases, velocity increases. As the area of the pipe increases, velocity decreases, because area is inversely proportional to velocity. Based on this concept, now we are going to derive this expression. So here as you consider the pipe with endpoints A and B, the fluid is entering into the pipe with velocity v1 and fluid is leaving the pipe with velocity v2. And area of this cross section is represented as A1 and area of this cross section is represented as A2. A1 and A2. As you observe, volume of the fluid entering into the pipe, area of pipe is equal to volume of the fluid leaving the pipe. Now we are going to consider volume of the fluid entering into the pipe. Volume is nothing but area into length. and we know that area is represented as A1 into, and length is represented as V1. We know that velocity equals displacement by time, delta t. Then length L is equals to velocity into delta. So length can be represented in terms of velocity and time. So A1 into V1 into delta t. Now we had represented the volume of the fluid entering into the pipe. Based on this concept, now we are going to represent a mass of fluid, entering into the pipe is volume into density. Why? Because we know that density is equals to mass by volume, then mass is equals to density into volume. So we can substitute this expression, and we know the volume as A1 V1 into delta t, and then it can be represented as rho into A1 V1 delta t. Now we have to represent the volume of fluid leaving the pipe. So, and it can be represented as a volume of fluid leaving the pipe is A2 V2 into delta t, as we had seen earlier. Now we have to represent mass of fluid leaving the pipe is mass equals to density into volume, where volume is A2 V2 into delta t, rho into A2 V2 delta t. The amount of mass entering into the pipe is equals to the amount of mass leaving the pipe. So we can equate both these expressions. As we equate, observe that rho into A1 V1 delta t is equals to rho into A2 V2 delta t. This expression is being represented based on the conservation of mass. So observe that here density gets cancelled and time gets cancelled. Based on that, we can represent A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2. Since A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2, we can represent AV is equals to constant. Based on that, we can represent area is inversely proportional to velocity. Take a screenshot. We will continue. Let's solve a numerical based on this equation of continuity. Observe that consider a chamber which is at a height of 1.25 meter from the horizontal surface. The diameter of the piston is 8 millimeter and the diameter of open end on other side is 2 millimeter. If the fluid is moving with a velocity of 0.25 meter per second, then find the range at which the fluid falls on the surface. We have to represent the range. Now we consider a chamber with a freely moving piston on the other side. Whereas the diameter of this piston is D is equals to 8 millimeters and the diameter of this open end is D is equals to 2 millimeters. Whereas the fluid is moving with a velocity of V is equals to 0.25 meter per second. Now we have to find the range at which the fluid is falling on the surface like this. Means from this position to this position we have to represent the range, where we know that range is equals to U suffix x into delta t. We have to represent horizontal. Consider horizontal velocity as well as the time taken by the fluid in order to flow from this end to here. So in order to represent this, we are going to apply equation of continuity, and we know that A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2, and area of this cylinder is given as pi r1 square into v1 is equals to pi r2 square into v2. Observe that here pi gets cancelled. From this diameter we can represent the radius. R is equals to capital R equals to d by 2 is equals to 8 by 2, nothing but 4 millimeters. So 4 millimeters can be represented as 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. In the same way, radius is represented as R equals to d by 2. So 2 by 2 is nothing but 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter can be represented as 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meter. Let's substitute these two radius. Observe that r1 square nothing but 4 into 10 to the power of minus 3 whole square into v1 is 0.25. 0.25 is equals to r2 square nothing but 1 into 10 to the power of minus 3 whole square into v2. So 4 square is 16 into 10 to the power of minus 6 into 0.25 is equals to 10 to the power of minus 6 into v2. Observe that 10 to the power of minus 6 gets cancelled. 0.25 into 16. So here we get v2 is equal to 4 meter per second. This represents the velocity of the fluid with which it is flowing from this cross section. By using this velocity, now we have to represent a range, where in order to represent the range we have to calculate time. The time is calculated by using the expression s is equal to u suffix y into delta t plus half a into delta t square. Now as you observe that along the vertical velocity is equals to 0, means u suffix y is equals to 0, and acceleration is given based on acceleration due to gravity, and here we consider it as 10 meter per second square, and height is 1.25 meters. 1.25 meters. H is equals to. So as we substitute all the values, observe that 1.25 is equals to 0 into delta t plus half into 10 into delta t square. So 1.25 into 2, nothing but 2.5 is equals to 10 into delta t square. Based on that we can represent delta t square is equals to 2.5 by 10, 2.54 sir. So here we get delta t square equals to 1 by 4. Then delta t is equals to 1 by 2. As we apply square root on both sides, here nothing but delta t is equals to 0.5 second. Now we had represented time. As we substitute the values in the range expression, then r is given as r equals to horizontal velocity is nothing but 4 meter per second. 4 into 0.5. 4 into 0.5 is nothing but 2 meters. So option is B. Take a screenshot. We will continue. Now we are going to discuss about Bernoulli's theorem, and this theorem is being explained based on equation of continuity. Observe the definition. When a non-viscous incompressible fluid flows steadily, the sum of pressure energy, kinetic energy and potential energy per unit volume of the fluid remains constant at all points in the path of flow. Based on that, here we can represent it as a P plus half rho V square plus rho GH is equals to constant, and we have to derive this expression where P is a pressure and half rho V square is nothing but kinetic energy per unit volume, and rho GH is nothing but potential energy per unit volume. It is equals to constant, nothing but initial sum of energies is equals to final sum of energies. For this, here we consider a pipe with a different cross sections at different heights. Observe that this cross section A1 is at a height of h1 from the surface, horizontal surface, and A2 cross section is at a height of h2. Now we are going to consider 2 points. The initial point is represented as a C and the final point is represented as D. In a time of delta t, the fluid flows from C to C dash and D to D dash. Based on this, we can represent that the amount of fluid entering into the pipe is equal to the amount of fluid leaving the pipe in between the region C, C dash and D, D dash. So here we are going to apply work energy theorem. Work done by all the forces is equals to change in kinetic energy. As you observe here, work has been done by the fluid as well as work has been done by the gravity. Now we are going to represent these two work done. Initially now we are going to represent work done by fluid. W suffix F. Work done by fluid is equals to force into displacement. Work done in order to move the fluid from C to C dash and work done in order to move the fluid from D to D dash. Work done is given based on the force and displacement. Force can be represented in terms of pressure and area. So it can be represented as a P1 A1 into V1 into delta T. The amount of fluid entering into the area of cross section is represented as positive. Then the amount of fluid leaving the area of cross section is represented with a negative sign. So here we can represent it as P2 A2 V2 delta T. So here as you observe this expression, we consider equation of continuity where we know that A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2. Based on that, we consider mass. M is equal to density into volume. Observe that density into volume can be represented as area into length. Length can be represented in terms of velocity into time. So in the place of A, V, delta T, we can substitute M by rho. M by rho. So I am going to substitute these values. Observe that P1 into M1 by rho. M by rho minus P suffix 2 into M2 by M by rho. So as you observe that here we can take M by rho as common. Then we can represent it as P1 minus P2. This represents work done by fluid. Now we have to represent work done by gravity. We know that work done by gravity is equal to change in potential energy, negative change in potential energy, nothing but minus of final potential energy minus initial potential energy. Then the expression can be represented as initial potential energy minus a final potential energy. Here, so that C to D and C dash to D dash. As you observe this expression, potential energy in order to move the fluid from C to D plus minus potential energy in order to move the fluid from C dash to D dash. So here as you observe that I am going to consider the expression as potential energy in order to move the fluid from C to C dash. Then we can represent it as C, C dash plus potential energy in order to move the fluid from C dash to D. C dash to D minus, after that from C to D dash, potential energy in order to move the fluid from C dash to D minus potential energy in order to move the fluid from D to D dash. D dash. After that here C dash D and C dash D gets cancelled. Now we have to represent the work done by gravity. Work done by gravity is equals to potential energy in order to move the fluid from C to C dash minus potential energy in order to move the fluid from D to D dash. After that C to C dash is at a height of h1 and D to D dash is at a height of h2. Then the expression can be represented as mg h1 minus mg h2. As you take mg as common, then it can be represented as mg into h1 minus h2. Now we had represented work done by fluid as well as work done by gravity. Now we have to apply work energy theorem. When we know that the work done by all forces is equal to change in the kinetic energy. Change in the kinetic energy. Work done by fluid is m by rho into P1 minus P2 plus work done by gravity is mg into h1 minus h2 is equal to change in the kinetic energy. Final kinetic energy half m to v2 square minus half m v1 square. Half m v1 square. So if we take m as common, m gets cancelled on both sides. Then we can represent it as P1 by rho minus P2 by rho plus g h1 minus g h2 is equal to v2 square by 2 minus v1 square by 2. So I am going to send this v1 square by 2 towards this side and bring this p2 by rho and minus gh2 towards this side. Then the expression can be represented as p1 by rho plus gh1 plus v1 square by 2 is equal to p suffix 2 by rho plus gh2 plus v suffix 2 square by 2. So as the density is multiplied, the expression can be represented as p plus rho g h1 plus half rho v1 square is equal to p suffix 2 plus rho g h2 plus half rho v suffix 2 square. Based on that, we can represent pressure, the sum of pressure energy plus potential energy per unit volume plus kinetic energy per unit volume remains constant. This represents Bernoulli's theorem. Take a screenshot. Based on this Bernoulli's theorem, we will discuss some applications in our next video. So please give a like to this video, share this video to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.